Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Good morning. I'm Alex, and today we are discussing a major development in the world of technology.
Good morning, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. On February 9th, the International Telecommunication Union finalized a new framework called the Nexus Protocol. This agreement sets the global standards for 6G hardware.
That is a significant step. It means 6G is finally moving from the research lab into real-world use. Can you explain what makes 6G different from our current 5G networks?
Certainly. 6G is designed to be incredibly fast, with almost no delay. This will allow for amazing things, such as 3D holographic calls and even remote surgery performed by doctors in different cities.
To make this possible, I understand that chip manufacturers are already changing their factories. They need to produce specialized high-speed chips that can handle these new frequencies.
Exactly. Experts say we are moving from the Internet of Things to the Internet of Intelligence. This means our devices will have enough power to process complex AI tasks locally without needing to connect to the cloud.
President Trump's administration has expressed strong support for this shift. The president emphasized that the United States must lead in 6G technology to ensure both national security and economic growth.
Right. Because of this support, domestic providers plan to start testing 6G in major U.S. cities by the third quarter of this year.
It sounds like the focus is not just on speed, but also on safety. The new infrastructure must be strong enough to resist cyber threats while supporting self-driving industrial systems.
Precisely. It is about building a faster, smarter, and more secure future for everyone.
Thank you for that clear analysis, Jamie. That is all for our report today.
Thank you, Alex. Have a great day.
Good morning. Today we are looking at a major breakthrough in how we protect digital information.
That is right, Alex. For the first time, researchers have successfully placed quantum security directly onto standard silicon chips. This is a significant shift in technology.
For our listeners, could you explain how this differs from the security we use today?
Currently, most security relies on complex math. However, this new hardware uses the laws of physics. It uses particles of light called photons to secure data.
And what happens if someone tries to steal that data?
This is the fascinating part. If an unauthorized person tries to intercept the light, the particles actually change their state. This immediately alerts the system, and the stolen data becomes completely useless to the hacker.
In the past, I believe these quantum systems were very large and difficult to use. Is that still the case?
No, and that is why this is a breakthrough. Older versions needed to be kept extremely cold. This new silicon chip works at room temperature. It can be made in regular factories, which makes it much cheaper and easier to produce.
This seems like a vital tool for the Trump administration's goal of protecting our national infrastructure.
Absolutely. As digital threats become more advanced, experts say this technology is a necessity for banks and government agencies. We expect to see these modules in data centers starting in 2026.
It is a steady step toward a more secure digital future. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You are very welcome.
Good evening. Today, we are discussing a key update from the Federal Reserve. After a 2-day meeting, the central bank has decided to keep interest rates at their current level.
That is correct, Alex. This decision was expected by many, but it still brings a sense of calm to the global markets. The Federal Reserve stated that while the economy remains strong, inflation has finally stabilized.
So, by keeping rates the same, they are trying to support continued investment without making borrowing more expensive. How did the stock market react to this news?
The reaction was very composed. We saw modest gains in both the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. Investors seem to appreciate the predictability. They are currently moving money into sectors like real estate and long-term infrastructure.
It is all about stability. President Trump also commented on the economic situation today. What did he have to say?
President Trump noted that the stability of the dollar is a positive sign. He highlighted the strength of American manufacturing as a primary indicator that the administration's fiscal policies are working effectively.
That leads us to the future. What are economists saying about the rest of the year?
Most experts suggest that the Fed will maintain this steady state approach through the summer. This depends, of course, on two things: steady employment numbers and stable global supply chains.
Thank you, Jamie. It seems the word of the day is stability. We will continue to monitor these economic trends as they develop.
Indeed, a steady path forward is what the markets are looking for. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm Alex. Today, we are looking at a major shift in the global commodity markets. Gold prices have just reached a historic milestone.
That's right, Alex. The price of gold touched an all-time high of $3,150 per ounce today. This is a very significant move for global investors.
It certainly is. Jamie, what is driving this steady increase in value?
There are several reasons. First, many central banks are buying large amounts of gold. They are doing this to protect themselves against the volatility of paper currencies. They want a more stable reserve.
So it is about stability. I also understand that large institutional investors are moving toward gold as a safe haven asset.
Exactly. There is growing concern about government debt levels in Europe and other emerging economies. When investors are worried about the safety of traditional bonds, they turn to gold because it holds its value.
We are also seeing a simple issue of supply and demand, aren't we?
Yes. For 3 quarters in a row, the demand for physical gold has been higher than the supply. Additionally, new digital funds have made it easier for regular people to invest in gold. This has opened the market to many more participants.
Some people might wonder if this is just a temporary bubble. What are the analysts saying?
Most experts believe this is not a bubble. Instead, they see it as a permanent change in how the market values gold within a modern portfolio. While this rise makes jewelry and electronics more expensive, the primary focus right now is financial security.
It seems that in this complex economic landscape, caution is the priority. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You're welcome, Alex. We will continue to watch these trends closely.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a major development from the White House. President Trump has officially signed the American Energy Independence Act.
That is correct, Alex. This new law is a key part of the America First agenda. Its main goal is to make the United States the world's top exporter of low-cost energy.
To do this, the act reduces many rules and regulations. It makes it much faster for companies to get permits for oil and gas projects. It also supports the building of new, smaller nuclear power plants.
President Trump emphasized that cheap energy is the engine for the U.S. economy. He believes that by lowering energy costs, the country can significantly grow its manufacturing sector.
There is also a focus on the workforce. Supporters of the bill say this will create hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs. Interestingly, some parts of the bill received support from both parties, especially the plans to modernize the national power grid.
However, there has been some debate. Critics are worried about the impact on the environment. In response, the administration included incentives for clean coal technology and systems that capture carbon emissions.
It seems the government is moving very quickly. The Department of Energy will begin processing new permits within the next 30 days.
This is certainly a fast start. It shows how serious the administration is about changing the nation's energy landscape.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will continue to watch how these changes affect the economy in the coming months.
Thank you, Alex. Stay tuned for more updates.
Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at a major development in global trade. In London, negotiators from the United States and the United Kingdom are entering the final stage of a new trade deal.
That is correct, Alex. This agreement is called the Atlantic Prosperity Pact. It is a top priority for President Trump's foreign policy team. The goal is to create a special economic zone to help businesses work more easily across the Atlantic.
The latest talks focused on some very practical areas. For example, they are working to lower taxes or tariffs on cars and agricultural products. They also want to make professional standards more similar in both countries.
Another important part of the deal involves digital trade. Under this pact, technology companies can move data freely without being forced to store it in a specific country. This should help the modern economy grow much faster.
It sounds very promising. However, are there still any points of disagreement?
Yes, there are a few. Both sides are still discussing rules for food safety and the pricing of medicines. These are sensitive topics for both nations.
Even with those challenges, both delegations seem positive. They expect a final version of the treaty to be ready for official approval by early spring.
If they succeed, this will be one of the most significant trade deals in recent history. It will not only strengthen the alliance between the US and the UK, but also serve as a model for future agreements.
A very important moment for international relations indeed. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.
Good morning, I'm Alex, and today we are discussing a significant new project for our nation's cities. It is called the National Green Ribbon Initiative.
Hello, Alex. This is an interesting development. The goal of the project is to bring more nature into the heart of busy American cities.
That's right. Under President Trump's administration, the federal government is working with large companies to fund this. They plan to take old, empty factories and abandoned train tracks and turn them into public parks and community gardens.
It is a very practical plan. Urban planners call these areas living corridors. They believe these spaces are essential for the mental health of people living in crowded areas. Also, trees and plants help cool down cities, which often become too hot because of all the concrete.
Another important part of this initiative is inclusive design. This means the parks will be open and easy to use for everyone, regardless of their background. There will also be educational programs for local children.
We are already seeing positive results from smaller versions of this plan. In cities like Chicago and Phoenix, more green space has actually led to lower crime rates. When people have a nice place to gather, the community becomes stronger.
It truly is a long-term investment in our society. In a world that is becoming more digital and isolated, these parks offer a place to reconnect.
I agree. The first phase of construction is starting soon in 12 different cities. If everything goes according to plan, the first park should be finished by late 2027.
It is a hopeful vision for the future of our urban centers. Thank you for sharing these details with us, Jamie.
My pleasure, Alex.
And thank you for listening. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
Good morning, I'm Alex. Today, we are discussing a major shift in the American educational landscape.
Hello, I'm Jamie. It is an important topic. Recent data shows that enrollment in vocational and trade schools has reached a record high across the country.
That is a significant change. For decades, a traditional four-year degree was seen as the only path to success. Now, many students and parents are reevaluating that idea.
Exactly. There is a growing focus on high-skill certifications. In response, several states have announced they are moving more funding toward what they call technical centers of excellence.
These centers are unique because they partner directly with industries. We are talking about fields like aerospace, precision manufacturing, and advanced healthcare.
It is a practical move. This reform aims to create a workforce that is skilled and ready. It matches the current administration's focus on strengthening our domestic industries.
There is also a social benefit. This path helps address the heavy burden of student debt. By finishing school faster with specific skills, young people can start their careers with more financial security.
It is also interesting to see how the prestige of these jobs is changing. Vocational paths are no longer seen as a secondary option. They are now viewed as a smart, respected career choice.
Community leaders are very supportive. They believe these clear career paths give young people a sense of purpose and help close the skills gap in our economy.
It is a positive step for local stability and national productivity.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. This shift toward vocational excellence marks a new chapter for American students.
Thank you, Alex. We will continue to monitor these developments.
Good morning. Today we have a significant update from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory regarding our neighbor, the Red Planet.
That is right, Alex. The Ares 7 rover has made a historic discovery. Using ground-penetrating radar, the rover found massive deposits of water ice hidden just beneath the Martian surface.
This is fascinating. We already knew about ice at the poles, but this discovery is different, isn't it?
Yes, it is. These ice deposits are located only a few meters under the soil. This makes them much easier to reach than the ice at the North and South poles.
Scientists are calling this a game changer for future human exploration. How exactly will this ice help our astronauts?
Water is the most important resource for staying in space. This ice can be harvested for drinking water and oxygen. It can also be used as a shield against radiation, or even turned into rocket fuel for the journey back to Earth.
It sounds like this makes long-term living on Mars much more realistic.
Exactly. The data suggests the ice is remarkably pure. This tells us that liquid water was definitely present on Mars in the past. Because of this, scientists are now very excited to look for signs of ancient life in these specific areas.
I understand there are already plans for a follow-up mission?
Yes, NASA is already drafting a sample return mission to bring some of this ice back to Earth for study.
This discovery certainly supports the current goals of the Trump administration for human space travel. It shifts our focus from simply observing Mars to actually using its resources.
It is truly a major milestone for planetary science.
Thank you, Jamie. A historic day for our future in space. We will continue to follow this story as it develops. Good morning. Today we bring you some very important news regarding global health. Scientists have reached a major milestone in medical history.
That is correct, Alex. A new universal flu vaccine has successfully passed its final clinical trials. This could change how we protect ourselves from the virus forever.
For many years, people have had to get a flu shot every single winter. This is because the flu virus changes or mutates very quickly. However, this new vaccine is different.
It certainly is. Most flu shots target the head of the virus, which changes every year. But this new vaccine targets the stem. This part of the virus does not change much at all.
The results from the trials are truly impressive. The vaccine showed a 95% success rate against all known types of the flu. Even more exciting is that the protection could last for 10 years or even longer.
This is a significant moment for public health. Currently, hundreds of thousands of people die from the flu every year. This advancement will drastically reduce those numbers and save many lives.
Medical experts are calling this the end of the annual flu shot era. It is a much more effective and cost-saving way to handle healthcare.
So, what is the next step?
The vaccine is currently waiting for final regulatory approval. If everything goes as planned, healthcare providers will begin a large-scale vaccination campaign starting next winter.
It is a proud moment for science and technology. We are finally moving toward a world where the flu is no longer a constant threat.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us for this update. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
Have a safe and healthy day.